Watch Dogs 2 is one of those rare sequels that managed to do everything right and everything wrong at the same time. Ubisoft listened to the criticism of the first game and then overcorrected so hard that what they created divided the fanbase right down the middle. Some say it's the best game in the series, others say it's the worst. And the really interesting thing about it is that your opinion is probably shaped by whatever game you played first. Watch Dogs 1 dropped us into Chicago as Aiden Pierce, a hacker who finds himself hunting down the people responsible for his niece's death. Everything about the game was dark. The aesthetics of the city, the tone, the story, and even Aiden himself. Aiden was widely criticized for being broody and humorless, and the plot was written off as a generic revenge story with no real payoff. Some of that criticism is fair, but a lot of reviewers missed the entire point of who Aiden actually was. He wasn't supposed to be likable. He was supposed to be a man consumed by grief, doing morally questionable things, and convincing himself it was justice. He is a more interesting character than people give him credit for, but that criticism stuck, and Ubisoft heard every word of it. Because of those criticisms, valid or not, Ubisoft went in the complete opposite direction with the sequel. Out went the dark, gritty story and the gloomy streets of Chicago. In came Marcus Holloway, a hipster in the bright, colorful city of San Francisco. And honestly, the best way to describe Marcus is that he is the exact opposite of Aiden Pierce. When we first take control of Marcus, he's undergoing initiation to join DedSec, the same dangerous hacker collective introduced in the first game. Except this time, they don't seem dangerous, and they're not even remotely intimidating. They're just a bunch of hipsters who don't realize they're hipsters. Marcus quickly takes the reins of the group, and the story becomes a series of operations that feel largely disconnected from each other. The story jumps all over the place, and somehow every company and individual that DedSec investigates conveniently has ties to the Bloom Corporation. This eventually leads to a confrontation with Bloom's CEO, a man named Dusan, who is orchestrating backroom deals across Silicon Valley and manipulating DedSec into doing his dirty work without them even realizing it. This concept had the potential to be something interesting, but the execution just fell flat. Dusan doesn't feel like a villain. He has a handful of exchanges with Marcus, and that's it. Simply put, he's an uninterested man-bun-wearing douche. The lighter tone of Watch Dogs 2 creates another problem. Whenever the story tries to be serious, it falls completely flat. Horatio is a fellow DedSec member, one of the people Marcus is fighting alongside. When he gets killed around the halfway point in the game, the moment barely registers, and that's because we never spent any meaningful time with him. The core crew are in almost every cutscene, but Horatio wasn't, so when he's gone, there's nothing to feel. It's the kind of death that should hit hard, but instead just happens. Compared to the goofiness of the rest of the game, the scene just feels completely out of place. The gameplay also tells a similar story. Some things are improved and others took a noticeable step back. The RC vehicles are generally a fun addition that give you more creative options in how you approach missions. But the stealth is where the game really stumbles. In Watch Dogs 1, stealth felt rewarding and grounded. If an enemy spotted you, there was a window, a brief moment to deal with them quietly before they raised the alarm. In Watch Dogs 2, that window doesn't exist. The moment someone sees you, their entire squad somehow knows your exact location before a single shot has been fired or a single word has been spoken. You can take someone down a millisecond after they clock you and it doesn't matter. Their friends already know where you are. It breaks the immersion and it makes stealth feel pointless in a game that constantly encourages you to use it. But here's where it gets interesting, because despite everything I just said, Watch Dogs 2 isn't actually a bad game. The multiplayer is one of the best examples of seamless open world integration that I have ever seen. 1 minute I'm just driving through the city minding my own business. The next I notice cops are chasing down another player and suddenly I'm a bounty hunter trying to take them out before the police do. It's chaotic and unpredictable, and it works in a way that a lot of games have tried and failed to pull off. That alone is worth acknowledging. But here's the core issue with Watch Dogs 2. The real reason it divided people so cleanly isn't the story or the stealth or even the tonal shift. It's that it doesn't feel like a sequel. It feels like its own separate game that happens to share a name with something else. And that's something you never want from a sequel. A developer should always listen to criticism, but they should never abandon their fans in the process. And that's exactly what happened here. People who connected with Aiden and the darker world of the first game were never going to connect with Marcus or the DedSec we got in Watch Dogs 2. Instead of improving on what Watch Dogs 1 built, Ubisoft essentially made a brand new game and slapped a sequel label on it. Well, the things that actually needed improving, like the stealth, took a back seat. I 100% believe that the divide between fans who think that this is either the best or the worst game in the series comes down to one simple thing: which game you played first. If Watch Dogs 1 was your entry point, the darker tone, the grounded protagonist, and the moral complexity were something that you probably really enjoyed, and Watch Dogs 2 took all of that away. If Watch Dogs 1 put you off with Aiden's brooding and the heavy atmosphere, then Watch Dogs 2 was exactly what you wanted: something lighter, more colorful, and more fun. And jumping between the two games feels like you're playing an entirely different series. Whether you think Watch Dogs 2 is better or worse, there is one thing I can confidently say, and that is both of those opinions make complete sense. And look, if you could take Watch Dogs 2 and completely separate it from its predecessor and release it as its own standalone game, I would actually say it's an alright game. I did have fun with this, but when I compare it directly to Watch Dogs 1, it feels like it falls short. And that's coming from someone who loved the first game, which I think highlights the whole point of this video. My opinion is shaped by which game I played first, and I know I'm not alone in that. The problem isn't the players. The problem is Ubisoft trying to please both groups and ending up fully satisfying neither. Put Watch Dogs 1 and 2 side by side and strip the hacking mechanics out of both of them, and you would think they belong to completely different franchises. Ubisoft heard the criticism of the first game and took it so much to heart that they overcorrected in almost every direction. In chasing new players, they lost the ones they already had. The new players they attracted were not loyal to the franchise, but loyal to a single game. And the moment Watch Dogs Legion launched and the vibe changed once again, these new players moved on. But this wouldn't be the last time Ubisoft made this exact same mistake. We saw it multiple times across the Assassin's Creed franchise. They just keep on repeating the same pattern. They abandon what made a series work, then overcorrected, which leads to a divided audience, and then Ubi is stuck wondering why nobody sticks around. And I think that the moment Ubisoft started going downhill as a company was with the launch of Watch Dogs 2. But that's a video for another day. But which game did you enjoy more, Watch Dogs 1 or Watch Dogs 2? And do you think Ubisoft made a mistake with this overcorrection we've seen in the second game? Let me know down below, and if you like this kind of video, consider subscribing.